What's going on? It's your girl, Vicky Rowe. I am here with some bosses today, and I'm excited to be here. We got the CEO of REVOLT Detavio Samuels, beautiful and talented co-host of Black Girl Stuff, Britt Hall. And of course, we got the Chief Brand Officer of Combs Global. Now, that Combs Global, that's worldwide, okay?
Okay.
Deon Graham, how are you all doing today?
Good, thank you. How are you?
To be here.
Good.
Thank you for being in the space.
Of course. This is a very nice studio, so I might add.
Built by a Black woman.
Okay.
Listen, you see us.
Let's talk about it.
So I'm excited because today, of course, we're talking REVOLT World. But before we get into that, I want to talk a little bit about the foundation. In your own words, what is REVOLT?
You want to go or you want me to go?
Who wants to take that on? Go ahead, Deon. I feel like you itching to take it on.
REVOLT is just like our lens, our place to express ourselves, our platform, to be unapologetic, to live by our own rules, to give opportunities to our people. I just feel like, other places have a lot of restrictions and a lot of things going on. And like when you come to REVOLT, it may be Detavio, Deon, Monique, like you're looking at the people who are making decisions, who are at the table with you collaborating. And it's just important to have that platform. I'm just grateful to Puff for taking the risk, right? We're about to celebrate 10 years of a risk that he took, which was supposed to be a music network, in the beginning that evolved into a kind of global platform for people that look like you and I. So just grateful for all of that.
Yes.
Another thing I'll just add is at this point in time, REVOLT now is the #1 hip-hop platform in the world.
Come on,
It's
REVOLT.
home to all of your favorite shows, whether you're talking about Black Girl Stuff, Risha Please, Drink Champs, Big Facts straight out of Atlanta. And over the last 3 years, we've just experienced tremendous growth. And so we are also the fastest growing Black-owned media company. Definitely in the nation, I'm going to say in the world, because I assume that's the truth. And then the last thing I'll say is, the thing that I love about REVOLT, and Deon touched on it, we're not just a media company. We're an engine for transformative change who wakes up every day trying to shift the algorithm in a positive direction for our people all over the world. Right? And so, yes, we make content, we make television shows, digital content, all of that. But at our core, we are trying to shift the narrative for Black people globally.
Love that.
I love that. Now, I do want to take some time just to briefly talk a little bit about you individually. Britt, I feel like this is kind of like a full circle moment.
Absolutely. Crazy.
Tell a little bit of your story and kind of why it makes such sense for you to be here at REVOLT.
I grew up in hip hop, like hip hop royalty. My dad is a stylist, one of Puff's great friends, his brother. So I was always in the industry, just around, just being there, hands-on, uncles, like all these men have instilled something in me, naturally, as far as hip hop and just the culture. So when I was asked to come cast for Black Girl Stuff, I was like, this is it. And honestly, I didn't know what I was getting into really, because when in my casting, there was a lot of girls that were like corporate and like beautiful women with beautiful educational backgrounds. But I'm like, this is not me. Like, I'm just me. All I got to give y'all is me. Yeah. So when I came and I gave me, I felt like they saw me and we just took it. It's through the roof. It's over. Yeah. Sisters in the building, okay?
But I love that, though, especially because, coming in, you didn't know what to expect, but to see, all your contributions to Black Girl Stuff.
Yes.
The success of the show, congratulations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
It's a beautiful show to watch, especially being a Black woman.
Yeah, sisterhood is super important in our community, and I feel like Black Girl Stuff has given women and men as well just that knowledge to, be community, to have an understanding of who we are as a people, and just bringing it full circle with REVOLT. So super dope to be a part of.
Okay, Detavio, let's talk a little bit about you. This boy from Colorado with Duke. I mean, did you ever see yourself running an empire like REVOLT?
Yeah, I will say that I always had that vision. Like if you study the Bible, the story of Jesus was born at 0, but didn't step into his mission and purpose until 30, and then died at 33. And so what I will say is, from a young kid, from a young man, I always knew that there was immense purpose on my life. And I was always just trying to figure out what that play was going to look like. And for a lot of the years, I misunderstood the plays. And I kept thinking man, I'm not in the right place doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And now when I look back on it, I'm just so blessed because I am doing exactly what I believed I should be doing. And the whole way was not mistakes, was not problems, It was preparation.
Yes.
To sit in this seat and do the work for the people and the culture. So I'm grateful to be here.
Okay, Pastor. I appreciate that.
Okay.
I love it though, but I mean, it's inspiring to hear. Now, of course, Deon, got to roll on over to you, Mr. Miami Nightlife. Let's talk about your journey. I mean, just speaking of preparation to get to this point and be in position when this opportunity came about.
Yeah, I mean, I think you just have to be able to embrace and understand when you have an opportunity in front of you, right? And give your all. I kind of put the blinders on, started a nightlife website, kind of hustled my way into getting some Ciroc ads on the site. And then when I got the call from Blue Flame, Puff's marketing agency, like something in my body was just like, this is your moment. You got to take it, right? You got to stay up all night. You got to offer your services whenever, take less money, whatever it is to get in the door. And I just took it and ran that marathon. And, it feels good to see where we're at now, right? I'm in a position now where I used to be like the finger pointer and point out all the problems, and now I can't do that. So now I'm solving problems. Now everybody's pointing at me. And I could say I graduated from Bad Boy University, right? Not a lot of people can say that, right? So that feels good. So it's right up there with Duke.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's important to talk about that though, like that putting that work in, because a lot of times so many people may see you now and like, oh man, he's just living the dream, which may be true, but there was a lot of work that went into that. It wasn't just, I'm here.
I just think it gets harder. I don't think that it ever gets easier, and I think that's important for people to understand too, right?
Yeah.
At each level, it's just more responsibility, more lives on the line, decisions, that affect people's families now. Like early on, you're kind of just thinking about yourself. But now when I come into these rooms and we're talking about budget and things that I used to avoid, I'm like, oh shit, like this thing is not just about me anymore, right? There's 100 people working at these places or whatever. So yeah, a lot more responsibility and a lot more focus is needed at each level that you go up to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just one thing that Deon said that I want to tap into that I love. He mentioned this notion of like, I graduated from Bad Boy University and it's like the same as Duke. And I think one of the things that makes Revolt special is that you have this type of partnership where we come from different walks of life, where we have different perspectives. And I think, I'm always out there telling people what the strategy for Revolt is, and people always say, slow down, stop talking about the strategy. Stop telling people your moves. And I'm like, you actually can't repeat it, because if you aren't built the way that we are built, if you don't have the people at the top, and if you're all corporate, you can't do this job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so what's special is the cocktail of people that are here, the different walks of life that they come from. And I think that is going to be very hard for anybody to duplicate.
Yeah, that's the glue.
Yeah, I think that's, just amazing to hear that the team that you guys curated is so special. It can't be duplicated. You got to have that faith in your team.
For real.
REVOLT World, September 22nd through 24th. There's some heavy hitters, some big names coming. Lauren London, we got Atlanta's own Jeezy, Carisha, Young Miami. And that's just to name a few.
Okay.
Hello?
Fashion royalty.
Yeah.
Let's talk about
That's
it.
her dad.
Yes.
I'm like, why should the name drop her dad? But for people who are coming in and like, what do I expect from this? What is this even? What would you tell them to expect from this weekend, and what things they may get out of it?
Yeah, I think Revolt is the Super Bowl for the culture. It's going to be the biggest cultural event of the year, and I actually hate using the word event, because I really think that Revolt is really just a world of opportunities for our people and for our community. Right?
Experience, maybe? It's an experience rather than an event.
It's an experience. And it's like, if you want to be that young person who's trying to figure out how to learn how to make a dope beat, you're going to get that lesson. If you want to learn how to break into the fashion industry, you're going to get that lesson. If you want to learn how to break into podcasting, video, you're going to get those lessons. Then we also going to party and have a lot of fun. You know what I mean?
Gotta do a little bit of that, right?
So it is a first of its kind of experience, and I'm excited to see how the culture responds.
Yeah, and just going into that and thinking about the little details, what was important for you, Deon, that you are saying, I want people to walk away having this from REVOLT World?
Opportunity, right? Like every day that I'm thinking about the planning, we're working with Detavio and the team, it's like, what are the things that I wish that were available to me when I was coming up, right? And I think creating something like REVOLT World where people can be themselves and still get opportunity in corporate America. And it's not just us hiring, it's our portfolio businesses, it's outside companies. Everybody's there looking for you. Like, you could just be you, right? Like, the the culture is a big commodity in the world, right? And we're trying to foster some of that talent and give them opportunities to shine.
Yeah. You know, I'm excited because this is not the first, I guess, event like this. You guys have had Revolt Summit in the past. Talk to me about the difference between Revolt World and Revolt Summit.
Bigger, better, global, new intention, more people, more stages. You know, I believe a lot in, and you know, you have to write it down on paper. Like, what do you want? So,
Write it and make it plain.
Just changing from summit to world forces us to think globally,
bigger,
right? So it's very important to establish that. No different than us changing from Combs Enterprises to Combs Global. Like now, I'm forced to look for talent outside of America. So the same approach for this.
Yeah, I was going to say the name makes it sound like it's going to be much bigger.
It's expansion. Yeah.
Yeah. And Britt, just talking to you, going into Revolt World and having the name like Black Girl Stuff on your back, what do you want to offer to those who are coming?
I'm just excited. I mean, how many times do we get to come in one area at one time and be community and learn and have these conversations and just dwell together? I think that's super important. And I think when we get on the stage and we have our live show and we talk about modern Black love, it's going to be something that we all can take away from. Like, we all need to have these conversations. This is what we talk about at home with our moms, with our grandmas, with our men, with our women, you know? So I think it's going to be really dope to just have that moment in time become history for us. So it's gonna be it's gonna be good.
Yeah,
I can't wait for y'all to tune in.
It's like phenomenal. Yeah. So I'm excited for it. And we're celebrating a couple things this year. I know, Deon, you touched on it earlier, 10 years of Revolt. I mean, and that's not an easy thing, especially as a Black-owned media company. And I know, you know, Puff has been vocal in the past just about kind of navigating that space and just kind of the systematic things that you run into roadblocks with, including like limited distribution and things of that nature. So congratulations. That's a huge deal. That's a huge deal. A decade in with Revolt, what are some of the biggest lessons you've learned so far?
There's a lot.
Yeah, there's so many.
I think for me, like pace, right? Like understanding how to set a pace, right? And that everything isn't just going to happen overnight. I think when I got a little bit more responsibility at Revolt, I wanted to change things very fast, right? Like I felt like I could fix everything.
All at once, right?
All at once. Just blow everything up, change everything. But, you know, as I matured and kind of evolved and, you know, got guidance and leadership from Detavio and Tarek Brooks and other people in the company, it's like, okay, set the pace and just chip away every day. And now we look back, you know, 3 years, 10 years, and look how far we've come, right? It's just very important to set a pace, whatever your dreams are. Just have a good pace to it.
Yeah, I've learned a lot about the team that we build and the folks that we hire and bring into the machine and infrastructure. This is without question, I think, the hardest job I've ever had. It is the most difficult puzzle to solve that I've ever been a part of. And in order to do it, to take a Black-owned media company and try to turn it into $1 billion company while staying Black-owned is damn near impossible. And so the reason the team matters is because if you don't have a team that believes that against all odds, we can make this happen. I love when she just ended with history. If you don't have a team that's waking up every day going, we are here to make history, you're not going to get there. And so for me, one of the biggest lessons is when you have a chairman like Sean Combs who pushes you to the stars, you got to make sure that the folks around you are believers and supporters and like, what you say, like beasts, what you like killers for the vision. You know what I mean?
Everybody hungry.
Yeah, everybody got to be hungry. Yeah, everybody got to be hungry. Yeah.
And you got to have your team the same way.
Yeah.
Super true. So what does the future look like for Revolt? I mean, you've already accomplished so much. I mean, from Revolt Black News to Carisha Please. Are there specific things that you all want to accomplish here?
Yeah. I gotta say my line. Yeah. Revolt is gonna be the biggest media company in the world.
We're claiming it.
And he didn't say the biggest Black media company in the world.
I'm very particular about that. Like I just like the biggest media company in the world.
Period.
Like, that's what I'm waking up and doing every day. And if you're not around me trying to do that, there's somewhere else for you to work.
That's right. You
We
don't
have
belong
nothing to
here.
talk about.
Yeah, you don't belong here. That's right.
Britt, how about you? What do you want to accomplish with Black Girl Stuff and just Revolt in general?
I just think that this opportunity has opened up life. I'm all about like just having an opportunity to have an opportunity. Like I just hope that we can continue to inspire and have young Black kids and everybody just see us and know that it's okay. Like be yourself, come into your spaces and open it up. So I think that's what Revolt's doing, and I think that's super dope. So
Yeah, that representation.
and I'm sure we're gonna continue to do it. It's no doubt in my mind. So
Hey.
yeah. Big energy. For sure.
Mine drafts off of Dion's point, so it's just an expansion of what he's saying. So we always want to say we're going to be the Black Disney, right? And so to say that says we believe that Black people deserve a Black-owned media company that is giving them their Nickelodeon so that their children get to see themselves in the cartoons and on camera. We believe that there's a Black-owned media company that deserves to give our people a Marvel, a Pixar, a ESPN, a TNT, like you name it, right? And so all of those verticals are on our map and we are building towards it. It is part of the dream and how we will become the biggest media company in the world.
See, I'm a dreamer myself, so all these like big plans, like I resonate because it's so true. Like you got to have that vision and truly believe it, not just think it, but like actually take actionable steps toward it. What you guys are doing every day, including with REVOLT World, and you know I'm excited because we're also celebrating 50 years of hip hop, and I know the theme this year is We Are Hip Hop for REVOLT World. So I want to know from each of you, what are your earliest memories of hip hop?
I mean, this day, I'm trying to think of something specific. I knew you were going to ask this question. I just think it's opening up that first CD that was a little bit like rebellious that you weren't supposed to have, right? Like that sticks out in my mind. Like I'm not supposed to be doing this, but it just keeps pulling me in, right? You know, and for me, that was the West Side Connection album that I just love. You know, Mac 10 was like my favorite rapper back in the day.
Okay.
And it kind of evolved into.
Wait, which one was your favorite rapper?
Mac 10.
Mac 10.
Nice.
Okay, Britt, how about you?
I think for me, I remember one Christmas, my dad in particular had bought me like a boombox. You remember how we used to have the boombox with the tapes? And he gave me like all the Bad Boy demo tapes, and I would put them in. It was like Total, Kissing You. I was 6.
Right.
You won't know. It's like, that's why I laughed when you were telling that story. And to me, it was nothing bad. I wasn't taking anything negative from what they were saying. I wasn't fresh, I wasn't grown, but just something hit. And it was like, I was playing these tapes every day, waking up in the morning, getting ready for school, putting the tape in, and just, that's so nostalgic for me. And I think hip hop is just, it's embedded in me. I love it. It's everything to me. I can't wait to pass it on to my son and have him, like, when I play music, he's doing this, my mom, like, you feel that, right? So like,
feel it in your chest.
Yeah, so it's just so special for our culture, for our people, and to me, it's like a part of my love life. Like, it's everything, so.
Yeah.
And then for me, like I definitely started out, I feel like in like the more teeny bopper hip hop, like Another Bad Creation, Crisscross, you know, I was young. But my brother was the one who was the first one to get like the NWA tape and the Ice Cube tape and the Ice-T tape. And I remember riding around in the car with him being like, oh, you gonna get in trouble. You know what I mean? But then like I fell in love with it, you know what I mean? And I've never looked back.
All right, so in the theme, are we expecting anything in particular at REVOLT World for this 50th celebration? Are we doing anything?
I mean, you started off, like our tagline is We Are Hip Hop. Yeah. Like when you walk into REVOLT World, we're the representation of 50 years of hip hop, right? Being able to put together an event like this, an experience, and we're top to bottom, people behind the camera, the producers, the security, the people on stage are all products of hip hop. You can't go anywhere else and say that. There's other events that, you know, are culture vulturing and doing what they're doing, but top to bottom, REVOLT World is a representation and a celebration of the 50 years of hip hop and 10 years of Revolt.
Yeah. How important do you think this is going to be for all the attendees, and just going forward, how important is it for the culture to have events like a REVOLT World?
The show of unity, right? Like just to continue pushing that narrative on how important it is for us to work together, to support each other, to hire each other, to buy each other's products. Like you're literally walking into a space where, you know, you could buy DeLeon tequila, right? You can watch Carisha Please and Black Girl Stuff, right? You can apply for a job at Sean John or Revolt. Like it's all here. It's right in front of us, right? And there should be 100,000 people at Revolt World.
Exactly.
That's how I'm starting to feel. Like my energy is starting to shift. Like why is it not 100,000 people or
Yeah.
200,000 people
Hey, listen.
kicking the doors down
That's right.
It's
to
coming.
experience
It's
this?
listen,
That's right.
That's what we're
after
building
this airs,
towards.
it's coming.
That's right. That's right. For me, it's like if we don't get to that point, then we failed.
Yep.
Right? Because this is all about impact for the culture, impact for our community. And this whole thing is about expansion and scaling, going from touching 10,000 people a weekend to tens of thousands of people to hundreds of thousands of people a weekend. Right? So that's what the whole thing is about. And if we miss on that, then we didn't do our job. But we don't miss.
Nope.
You don't miss. And I
Unfortunately, we can't because of who we
And
work
can't
for.
miss.
I also don't want you to think it's a failure, because just the fact that you guys are able to do this and do it on this scale says so much. Just people watching you and seeing that representation, even if they're not there and they can't go, they're like, man, these Black people did that. And that's something inspiring. So don't think you failed,
Thank you
because
for
the
that.
fact that you are able to do this says a lot in itself.
Thank you. For that.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so we are here at Revolt Studios in Atlanta. What's the significance and how important is it to have a studio here in Atlanta?
It's first of all, it's a little bit of a dream come true.
Okay.
A little bit of dream I had to fight for a little bit, but we'll leave
It
the
made it
details
worth it.
ahead. It was definitely worth it. But there's just always been something about Atlanta that made me feel different. Like, so I'm from LA. I live in Miami. My first experience even walking into HBCU was here, right? At AUC. I was like, whoa, this exists, right?
Crazy.
The energy, like everybody was here, like, you know, trying to be doctors and lawyers. And I'm like, holy shit, right? Like, and
Because it's something you've never seen
yeah,
before.
I
It's a
literally
whole
never seen it
different
before. You obviously
experience.
hear about it, but it's different when you feel it. And then how people would react to me, right? Like, you know, praising me, supporting me, giving me motivation, being thankful for me getting in my position. I'm like, I don't get this everywhere else, right? And then here we are in LA, right, where we're such a small part of the conversation, not even in the conversation in LA. And then again, you know, I like data. Data doesn't lie, and the data was telling us that Atlanta was our biggest fans, right? They were tuning in, they were sharing, they were reposting. You know, why not have something here? And I think Detavio explains it best. You know, this studio was built by a Black woman, right? Mo came in and turned a vision behind Zoom screens and maybe some in-person meetings into this. And every time I walk in here, I'm just like, holy shit, like we actually have a studio, right? Like somebody actually built this for, like, it was a dream, and now it's a reality. And I hope an inspiration to anybody else who walks through here.
Yeah.
And Dion's piece, whenever anybody asks me the question, I say what Dion says, which is why not? Right? Like, if you're going to build a company that's about centering Black people, centering Black stories, why not put it in Wakanda? If you're going to build a company that's all about tapping into hip hop culture, so much of which comes out of Atlanta, I mean, why not put it in Atlanta? And if you're going to build a company that is about giving back to the diaspora and giving back to the people and reinvesting in our people, then why not put it in Atlanta, where, to his point, we can tap every Black caterer, doctor, producer, writer, etc. And so for us, it's like the money comes in from the advertisers and we get to reinvest that money right back into the city of Atlanta, right? And so for us, it's about building a symbiotic relationship where Atlanta is giving so much to us and we feel a responsibility to give back to Atlanta.
Yeah. And I'm so glad you touched on, like, investing, because I feel like the theme that I'm getting from all of you is really like trying to put on for the culture, make sure you know, further it and make a difference in that way. And I feel like in a world where so many different people and companies really are profiting off of Black stories and Black culture, but not really investing in it, I'm glad that you are taking that step. And I'm curious, how does Revolt and Combs Global play a part in changing that narrative?
We're the example. We're the example of profitable Black business. It's that simple. Across every vertical, broken every boundary, every record. It's all there. The facts, the numbers, the data doesn't lie, right? Like you can come and partner with us and do good business that's actually good for your bank account, right? And important for our culture and helping uplift us at the same time, right? It's not charity, right? We're good for business and the data don't lie.
And all of the businesses that we're in, we're also the category leader. And it's the job of the category leader to fight for the category. And so if you go check the receipts. Like, we here for the smoke. Like, go check how much we calling out advertisers and brands about them not spending in Black. So not only are we trying to be the example in how we're executing our own business, we are also trying to hold all those people who should be allies, all those people who should be investing, all those people that you talked about that are going to trade off the culture, drift off the culture, and then think they can get away with not redepositing back into the culture. Like, we are also going to call them out and hold them accountable.
Absolutely. And I think that's important to do that too, because a lot of times people get away with stuff because nobody's going to call them out or maybe scared to call them out. But that's a good thing that you do. So I'm excited. Revolt World's going down at the end of this month, September 22nd through 24th. And I just want to say to all of you, it's really inspiring to see you, to be here with you and speak to you about this event and just about the business in general, because I mean, you're really big voices for the culture, and I know with that comes a lot of responsibility, but I think that, you know, the influential tidbits and the breadcrumbs, if you will, that you're dropping along the way will definitely come in handy for generations to come. So thank you all.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for having us.